Good morning, everyone, and welcome to InFUZEd, a monthly meetup where we have a guest speaker for a short topic presentation, and then we're going to break off into different tables. Please feel free to go to any of the tables and speak with the folks there and do some networking. If you missed last month's marketing meetup, in the upper left-hand corner when we return back to the floor, there will be a link to the video using data to create a plan of action. That was our April topic. This is our 8th InFUZEd marketing meetup. We tried a Tuesday time slot. We've been doing it Monday mornings, but we've had some requests from folks to try out a Tuesday because Mondays are too busy. So if you have any thoughts about time slots that you think will be better for everyone or future topics, please feel free to see. That's weird. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay, sound is back. Okay. I'm going to start over again. Luckily, it's a short introduction. I apologize for that. I don't know why it said the host muted my microphone, so I don't know what happened there. But anyway, so everybody can hear me now, right? I just want to make sure that I'm back. Okay. All right, let me start over. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Lloyd. What we're going to do is talk about a key topic and then break into networking tables. If you list marketing meetup in the upper left-hand corner of the stage, when we return back to the floor, there's a link to using data to create a plan of action. This is our 8th InFUZEd marketing meetup. We tried a Tuesday time slot to see if it would work better for everybody. If you have any thoughts about future topics or maybe an alternate time that you think would work better for everybody, again, we have to take everybody into account. Please see me at the website table later. I'd love to hear from you and get some ideas for what might be interesting in the future. Next month, our topic is your brand on display, trade shows, events, workspaces, and more with Lori Squidere. That will also be on a Tuesday, June 21st. Paul Hook is going to be your moderator. After that, we're going to take the summer off and give everybody a break. So July and August, there will be no meetup. And then we'll post some kind of schedule in over the summer sometime. So now to introduce our speaker today. Terry Naurat is the CEO of InsightPath, a video technology platform and the co-owner of Railroad 19, a custom software development company in Saratoga Springs, New York. Terry was formerly the COO of Informs, an email marketing company that she joined in 2005 and sold to HigherLogic in 2017. She led sales, marketing, product management, customer service, and the operations teams. She's going to talk to us today as to why logo walls just aren't enough anymore and how to go about getting the customer advocacy you need. Terry, can you join me on the stage?
Hi.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Kim.
I can't believe no one could hear me, but hopefully they can hear you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining me today. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right, today we're talking about setting your organization apart with customer advocacy. So as Kim mentioned, adding that logo wall to your website just isn't enough. prospects really want to hear from other customers. So creating customer testimonials and case studies are a key part of your marketing strategy. So today we're going to talk about what are customer testimonials and case studies. We're also going to talk about how do you obtain those testimonials from your customers. And we know that it can be a tough sell to the C-suite as well as your sales team about adding this to their process. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, as well as leveraging the metrics that go along with collecting these really important pieces of marketing material. So again, we're going to talk about what case studies are, obtaining them, ensuring social proof with videos. So we'll talk a little bit about that, metrics, and a customer example of a manufacturing company that we're working with who is collecting customer testimonials today. So let's talk a little bit about what are customer testimonials. So we know how important these are, and we know how important video is these days in our marketing strategy. So customer testimonials are really a crucial part of your marketing strategy, and a lot of companies do struggle with including these into their process. Now, some can be in the form of a written quote, but video now has become such a big piece of our of marketing statistics on social media. So it's a really great way to showcase your brand and your company. And we know, again, there are some roadblocks in getting those. And sometimes you might feel that your customers do not want to share their experience, or maybe they're afraid of highlighting to your competitors anything that you're doing. But if you don't ask, you'll never know if they will do a testimonial for you. So we're going to explore some of those strategies. So case studies are a little bit different, as case studies dive deeper into the problem that you're solving for that customer. So what was the challenge that they faced, and how your particular product or service solved it. Now they can be in a written form, they can be in video, and we'll talk about how we can include video into case studies, and have just some visual presentation to them. But they're going to be able to not only walk through the customer's journey as well as goals that they had set forth, but also giving them more of an explanation of the process and the success that they've achieved as they utilized your product or service. The other great thing about case studies is they allow you to add content to your website. So a great way to generate leads is to put a lead gen form on your website so that they have to fill out the information before downloading the case study. Just another way to get some more leads. So how do we obtain the testimonials and case studies? So this is always something that people run into and not knowing really how to get them. So now it's the ask. You know, when you think about who do you ask which customers do you ask? Well, you can't just ask the customers that you're meeting expectations with. You need to be exceeding your customer expectations. And that really goes along with making sure that you're standing out in how you are engaging with them. And so some of the things that, some of the reasons why a customer will leave you a testimonial is that with whatever service you might be providing. So you want to think about, how long has your customer been a customer? How long have they been a customer with you, as well as, what positive feedback have you received from them lately? So, for example, you might have heard some negative feedback, but it doesn't necessarily mean, you might have heard nothing from your customer, But that doesn't mean that they're not happy, that they're happy with you. They could be very unhappy, but they're just not saying anything. So making sure that you're always staying in front of where they are within their process, and that will help you to really understand where they are. And when you think about what motivates your customers to leave you on, it's that exceptional service. It's being able to generally it's the want to help other people, and they feel passionate about your product. Some things that you want to be careful of in your when you're thinking about going out and asking your customers, though, is what you want to include in your ask to them. So, for example, you want to make sure that you are asking them, what is it that you're looking for? So, a prompt in testimonial. So, you want to make sure, or for the testimonial. So, it's a specific question that you might want to ask them. Or if it's in a case study format, you want to ask them specific questions that you may want to understand from them. You also want to make sure that they truly understand how you're planning to use that case study or the testimonial. All right, so what do we consider a good testimonial or a good case study? Well, you want to make sure that you're asking the right person. So, for example, if you ask for them to leave you a testimonial, if it's a video testimonial, sometimes people shy away from video. So you want to make sure you're asking the right person. So if it's someone who is afraid to do a video or leave a testimonial, there might be someone else within the organization that is willing to do that. So don't be afraid to also ask for an additional person. You want to make sure that you're asking very specific questions, as I mentioned before. What problem were you solving for them? Numbers are so important in adding these into a testimonial or a case study. So you want to make sure that you ask them, how much time did you save on, working with us or solving this problem? Or maybe it was money. These are such a great way to really enhance the case study and show exactly what you have provided to them. Okay, so we talked about getting the case studies. One thing I just want to mention, there's a couple of different ways that you can go about doing that. By staying within the, following along the customer journey with them, you'll know how happy they are with you in your organization. By asking those long-time customers, they know your brand, they know the product, and they're more willing to leave you a testimonial. And you can send them an email, you can add it into your website, you can do just a direct ask to them as well. So let's talk a little bit about social proof and ensuring social proof with video. Well, social proof is when your social users, are recommending your product or service on social media. People are talking about you. They're liking your videos, they're making comments, things like that. That's what we talk about when we say social proof, and that's how you want to convince your team and your leadership team about how important having these testimonials and use cases are on your website or in your social. And now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the video side. So video content, obviously, everyone is knowing about this and how important video is. But just to kind of go through that a little bit here, viewers will remember 95% of a message when they watch it versus only 10% when it's read. And that's because video is engaging, it's easy to understand and easy to create. Also, consumers want to see content from businesses, and 55% of them consume more video, and they'll watch it rather than just, skimming through an article. So you want to delight your audience by giving them content that they want. So let's talk a little bit about the testimonial side. So, customers, they seek out testimonials before they make a purchase. 92% of customers will watch an online or read an online testimonial or review. And 95% of people are influenced by watching, their buying decision by watching a video or reading about your business. Testimonials, video testimonials especially, allow your prospects it humanizes your company and allows them to see, hear, and trust what other customers are saying about you. And it also allows you to dive a little bit deeper. They can see something. You can show your product on the screen. They could be having a conversation with someone else, but it gives that emotional connection and it's authentic. So these are not produced or scripted videos. These are very authentic videos that makes it easy for other people to trust what you're saying. And video testimonials are shared 12 times more than just your traditional post. Case studies, and again, as we already mentioned, this is really the proof of success. So this is going in and highlighting more about what you worked on with this customer. But now you can even take it a little bit further. So you may have a written case study, but adding video to that case study will even enhance it more. So you can create a video introduction. Maybe you want to highlight some of the areas of the case study in a video. Share that video on social media and direct them to your website or to the case study, and then you can capture them as a lead on your website. You can also embed a video into your case study. So for example, if you're getting a customer testimonial from this particular customer who did a case study, put that right in the case study. So having a video element to it is also a great way to highlight your organization. So now let's talk a little bit about selling it to your team with your metrics. So obviously leaders want proof. They want these marketing tactics have to show that leads are being generated and they're measurable. So they want to know, how are these going to help? So you want to make sure that you're reviewing the metrics. This is a really important step in your videos when you're posting them online or you're putting them on your website. You want to be able to track those videos. So some of the metrics that we want to look at are, for example, a view count. View
Hey,
count is
Terry?
really going to tell. Yes.
Do you mind, your microphone is sounding a little, we just had somebody chat and say it's a little garbled. And when you shuffle your papers, we can kind of hear that really magnified.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Do you, is it like, can you move the microphone? Maybe, did you turn it down earlier?
I'm going to actually unplug that microphone.
Okay.
Is that better?
Let's see. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, it might be better. So go ahead and try it.
Okay. Sorry about that. So we're going to talk a little bit about video metrics. Does that sound better?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Sorry about that. So we're going to talk a little bit about video metrics. So again, video view count is how many times your video has been played. The nice thing about that is you can see how many times, but one of the things about that you have to be careful of is that you may not necessarily know how long they actually watched the video. So you want to also make sure that you're looking at the watch time. So watch time is the total amount of time that viewers spend watching your video. And the watch time is going to give you some indication if they are watching it to the end, how engaged they really are with the video. So it will help you know what type of content people really do want to see. And same with audience retention. This is really talking about how long people are watching your video from start to finish. And again, it's all about engagement. So if you find that people are dropping off at an early amount of time, then maybe your video is too long, or that the content is just not appealing enough to them. And then it's a great way to get new leads. So one of the things that you can do on your videos is at the end of your video, have a call to action. So be able to reach out and on the video and ask them to go to a different a website, watch another video. So there's some different things that you can do as a call to action. Maybe reach out to you directly to talk about whatever the content might be. So things like that is a great way to look at those metrics so that you can really share that with your team. So one of the customer examples that I wanted to talk to you a bit about today is we are working with a company, they're called Dynamic Systems, and they were actually recently acquired, but they have a product called the Gleeble, so you may know them, Gleeble.com. And they are an organization that provides a thermal mechanical simulator. And so I am working with Dan Quigley, and I spoke with Dan ahead of time and asked if it was okay to share, what they're doing. And they're really just getting started, but just to talk a little bit about their process and what they're doing today. And Dan is the Director of Business Development and Marketing for Dynamic Systems. And so what they're looking to do is exactly what we spoke about today, is to get more video testimonials that they can share with their prospects. So another way you can utilize a video testimonials, email it directly to a prospect during your sales process. You can, highlight create a reel of customer testimonials, or even a gallery where all of the testimonials are on one landing page. But for Dan, they're sending out they sent out an email campaign that went out to just their core customers who they have been really engaged with and that they know have happy or good results. And so they really just started out with a general email that talked about the value. So that's another big thing you want to do is you want to talk about how valuable customer testimonials are to you and your customers who are also, selling a product or service. They also know how important these are. So really being able to be open about the conversation. Again, being able to mention how you're going to utilize that testimonial is a big piece of it, as well as when we do the testimonials and they're submitted, we do tell them that they're giving permission when submitting. And another thing that you can do though is after you've edited the video and put all your pieces together, ask them again and just have them review it one more time. It's just another way to do it. But something else that Dan and I have spoke through is adding not just the link to submit their video for a testimonial, but also having another way for them to submit a video when they're not happy. So this is more of a support related video where they can submit a video where they are talking about a particular issue. They can show what the issue might be and submit that to them. And this is more for internal use. So they can share it with their team members to say, here's a video from this customer, and this is what they're experiencing. Um, so that's a way that's just an example of how they're utilizing it, and they're getting ready to now individually reach out as a second way of connecting to those customers. So really looking at some specific people and asking them directly for that testimonial. So just to wrap this up, as we talked about, customer testimonials and case studies and how they're just such a powerful marketing tactic. So being able to utilize those into your process. So just thinking about all of those touch points that you have with your customer, and also thinking about, the length that the customer has been with you, um, is just a really important thing to think about when you're reaching out. So it's always just thinking about asking at the right time, and making sure too that you are reviewing your metrics, and making sure that you're utilizing them to your fullest advantage. So putting them on your website with the lead gen form, when you're sharing them on social media, making sure that you're looking at your results, and also seeing who's sharing you, looking at the comments that people are making as well, is also a great way to look at what's interesting to people, and what they're engaging in. Any questions?
All right.
I'm not sure if I'm doing this right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So thank you so much for that, Terry. A number of manufacturers, and I hear this a lot, where they say they really can't get customer testimonials because there's IP issues. Their customers don't want anyone to know that they're using their product because of IP issues. What do you say to somebody who says things like that to you?
Yeah, I mean, typically they don't want their name or their organization to be exposed or put out there. And so, in a case like that, you can ask them if it's okay to at least talk about the story of how you've helped them. What the problem that you solved, and what are some of the things that you've done. They're not as powerful, without having the name and organization, but there's still a powerful use case to highlight how you've helped them, or how you've, solved a problem for other organizations.
Great, thank you. There definitely is like a best practice to the steps. So if somebody wanted to get started in gathering testimonials, what I would recommend that you do is go and visit Terry at the table. So we're going to return to the floor. Terry's going to be at the table in the upper left-hand corner. There's a lot of good insights she can give you on how to try to get started on this process, and ask her if you have.
I did see a question, Kim, that came
Oh,
in.
yeah,
Just what the rule of thumb for how long the video testimonials?
great.
Great question. Typically, you don't want anything longer than 2 minutes, because if you think about attention span and how long people really will stay and watch it, 30 seconds is a great, quick testimonial. But really, even if it goes a little bit longer, you just want to stay under the 2-minute mark.
Mm-hmm. And then we have another one here from Nathan about working with a large global manufacturer. What's the right process to get approvals for testimonials?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's, making sure you understand the value of what you think those will bring to the organization before presenting that to, the leadership team, or whomever the obstacles that you might have to go through. They're going to want to know what the value is. What metrics are such a big piece of that too, being able to say, we can increase our social presence, our efforts, and even get more leads, and even talk about customers they want that social proof. Customers want to learn about how you're helping other customers. Prospects want that. So it's just such an important piece. So I think just making sure you have your plan in place when you present it to them.
So yeah, and that's great advice. And Nathan, when we've done it in the past, a couple of things, some of the business cases, these large global manufacturers know that it's important to help small manufacturers that are in their supply chain stay in business. So a lot of times they do want to try to help. And so whoever you are working with, um, within that company, you can ask for, say, hey, we'd like to run a case study or write something up and run it by your marketing department for approval. Who's the right person that we should work with? Blah blah blah. And so you want to make it as like painless as possible on them. So the more you can get started writing something or whatever the ask might be, the easier you make it on them, the higher likelihood that it's going to happen.
Right. Sorry, I was thinking it from more of the internal, but yeah, exactly. Just when you're reaching out to them, have a specific question that you're looking for, especially if you're engaged with them and you know exactly the problem that they've solved. Um, have them talk specifically about that. The other thing, as I mentioned, making sure you have someone who is comfortable on the other end of that is what's really going to make a good testimonial. Someone who's okay with leaving a video.
All right, great. So we're going to return to the tables and do some networking. Thanks again, Terry. Really appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Kim.